Trending is brought to you by the Bahamas Adventist Book and Nutrition Center, located on Tonic Williams Darling Highway.
Hey guys, welcome to Young and Trending here on Word SBC 88.3 FM, where we aim to be bold, be true, and be heard. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Pastor Nasa.
And in studio with us today, we have a special guest who, I'm so excited about this topic as well. Introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is Marcus Aurelius Higgs.
It's like you can tell who your family is. Like, y'all introduce yourself like full name.
Because I know who I am.
Yeah, that's right.
I know
I
who
love
I am.
that.
That's right.
I love that. So today our topic is words of well-being, and we're going to be journeying through Marcus's his creative work.
Mm-hmm.
I have a book here in front of me that's written by him.
Yay.
And plug.
Yes.
Yes. So we want to get to know a little bit more about your work, your process, what led you to that point. What even is your work? Because I know what I'm talking about. The listeners don't. So introduce that a little bit for us, and how did that start?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and how has that progressed?
All right, let me tell you my origin story. The book in front of you says "Inspire Life Through Words of Well-Being."
Okay.
Yes.
It's one of 3, and the other 2 are coming out. So I started writing here in Nassau.
Come on.
When I was
In the East.
Out East. Man, actually, if you know Michael Obadiah, Michael Obadiah Smith, Uncool. I'm calling out names from people way back. We used to perform at this place called The Spot in, where was that? That was on Cable Beach. Yeah, it was on Cable Beach, and with my cousin Ancelino and so on. To tell you my origin story. I've always loved the words, right? I've always loved expression. And in my prayer life growing up, when I was a teenager, I had a sincere prayer life.
Okay.
And when I say sincere prayer life, it was I would have conversations with the divine, rap sessions. That's something from Steps to Christ. It says talk to the Lord as if it's one-on-one.
Yeah, like
You know
a
what I
friend.
mean?
Yes.
Talking to a friend.
And I enjoyed rapping then. And we used to freestyle. Remember me and Davichi?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hey.
And my prayers were actually raps. I'd like freestyle, just for fun.
Look at that. Hey, come on now.
And even looking back at it with the work that I do now, it was a sense of coping. It's a coping mechanism. And when you say coping, they're healthy coping mechanisms,
Right.
and then they're those that harm you. And one that helped me was to express myself in poetry in a space where I felt seen, where I felt secure,
Safe.
and safe.
and
Hey.
and it was. Oh man, you have an audience with the divine. You're sitting there expressing yourself. It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. I mean, mind you, I had other outlets, and I grew up in the community here. I told you I was with Aunt Audrey Wright, when we used to be in choir,
Right.
the Meister Singers.
So you saying?
What?
You don't
There's
know.
layers to this.
There are layers
They
to
don't
this.
know. They don't know.
You gotta
so.
soothe the people, man.
Yeah.
I was a Sabbath school teacher for the youth Sabbath school.
Okay.
I had other outlets, but this was something I could call my own.
Right.
And even still, when you look at this book, it says personal meditations and poetry. Like, these are my words that I wrote for me. Now, I understand in a more far off thought, I believe you are me experiencing life from a different perspective. So these words are written for me, but in as much as they've soothed me and they've brought me peace and joy and different understanding and perspectives, I offer them to you
to do the same.
as you're willing to read them. If you, I say to do the same. I says inspire life, inspire. This is how I love words. Inspire. Spire means to breathe. That's where you get respire. That's where you get perspire. Conspire. meaning to breathe together, and that's where you get the word spiritu, meaning spirit, meaning breath of life. But inspire means you're putting in air, or you're putting in breath into somebody. And really that's what the world needs, man, because we're in a desperate place. That means without breath. People are trying to catch your breath.
We're trying to breathe.
Hey,
How could I breathe with no air?
you sing it now? You sing it
My
now?
goodness.
What this is now?
I don't know where that came
My
from.
goodness.
Just
Yeah,
now.
where did that come from? Pasta NASA.
I didn't even. Hey, we need more. We need more air. Come on now.
So there's a practice that they used to do in ancient Roman times. It's called the Common Book, where you would collect phrases, you would collect quotes, and you would collect things that you wrote for yourself.
Okay.
Now, I'm named after a guy named Marcus Aurelius. He's a Roman emperor. He was a Stoic, and he wrote a book for himself that he would read. And it was supposed to be thrown away or lost to antiquity. They found his book, and it was kept through the ages of how this person was speaking with himself, to himself, for himself. And I keep that book with me when I travel, as well as
Your own book.
this
yeah.
is my own book. Because whenever I share my words, I used to be a high school teacher. I would tell my students, and it's actually in the back of this. Ooh, I'll read it for you later if we have the time.
Yes.
But I say, I'm waiting on the remix. To live a good life, there are principles to it. There's an approach to it. This is my approach. I'm going to teach you what I know. But I'm waiting for you to show up and show me your approach. I'm waiting on the remix. Like, do me one better. And that's what the word means for me. To be, everything that is goes through three things. Everything that lives, all life goes through three phases. There's input, there's processing, and then there's output.
Right.
Something comes in, we process it, and then we need to express it. We experience it, we give it meaning, and then we need to express it. If you don't express it in your own unique way.
Okay.
Could be conversation, could be visual arts, could be in your food, it's something of saying, this is me, and I've put together these pieces, and I offer it to the collective. Or you could offer it to an audience of one, but it's something that was in me that I've processed and I pushed out of me.
Okay.
If you don't express it, you could be backed up, and I know.
Constipated. Oh gosh. But this is good stuff, man. So, and this is a part of our series that we've been calling The Pursuit of Purpose. And so here, I want to ask you then, a lot of people lose the passion that they have from childhood. Like, for instance, I used to love drawing. I was a little bit artistic, and I would draw, and I loved it. I used to spend hours doing it.
Yeah.
Then over time, it didn't develop it. I didn't foster it. It left me, and I don't even know if I have it in me anymore. How did you manage
You
to?
do.
Probably it might be deep down. I mean, I design posters now. Maybe that's it. But
Hey.
how did you manage to hold on to this passion? And then the second part of that question, because there's a Bible text that talks about your gifts will make room for you. Where did this passion take you?
Where do it take me? We'll come back to that.
Okay,
But
yeah, that's okay.
how did I hold on to this passion?
Yeah, so that they could,
Yeah. So you'll find something interesting about people. Oftentimes, what they double down on later on in their life, it's something that they explored when they were inside those first adolescent stages.
Okay.
Remember when we were talking about
Right,
that? Where they're going to specialize and where they're going to go deeper into.
Okay.
And actually, that's why the soundtrack of your adolescence resonates with you so much and is so meaningful. Because, now, I'm going to break down this word for you.
I'm telling you.
Soundtrack of your adolescence. We got to let them share a poem or something before we end the show.
sure,
But
for
go
sure,
on.
for sure,
Yeah,
man.
go. You could
Now, the word passion comes from the Latin word pati, which means to suffer. That's why it's called the Passion of
It
Christ.
come from the nicely breaded little
Passion fruit?
No,
You
no,
talking-
party, like, the party, we put a little
Beef
some
patty?
beef patty or something like that.
Very passionate
The
about
veggie
beef
patty,
patties.
Veggie patty, go to bed
nice
of that.
party. Go ahead.
So the Latin word is pati, which is why it's called the Passion of Christ. It's the suffering of Christ, right? If you ever heard it.
Yeah.
But then passion for me, people have different meanings for words. For me, what passion means is, what do you love so much, you're willing to suffer for it, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Right?
It's heavy when you put it that way.
Think about
heavy
it.
stuff. Yeah, it's true.
You have a passion for health.
Mhm.
That's why you work out. If I didn't have a passion for this is what they call a labor of love, because you're pushing it out. Like, that's what it means to express. X means outside, press means to press it. It's not easy to express yourself.
Right.
That's why if it is a passion, if it is something that you're called to, if it's something that you love,
Yeah.
if it is your being and you want to put it out there, it takes effort.
Yeah.
And you remember when I told you, through resistance, your true identity is shown.
Right.
If you really love this, you would stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You,
You know what I
fight,
mean?
you could
Yeah,
Right.
You can
Yeah.
push it, and you're going to express yourself. So you said, the reason I love it and the reason I stuck with it is because I know the soothing, the healing it comes. It is a part of my identity.
Okay.
And there's a poem I can share, and I will share, of an identity poem. Because remember, we act from our identity. That's why I encourage people to explore words.
Okay.
But then if words isn't your thing, I'll be like, yeah, that isn't your thing. But keep on exploring until you find what is you
Yeah.
and how you're going to express yourself. It could be conversations. It could be this. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Now, your second question was...
Like, where did it take you?
Where
now?
did it
Like-
take me?
Like, what doors did it open? Where did you end up going? What kind of things did you experience because you followed, this passion, this purpose that was within
Sure.
you?
So I believe... I love words, and your words build your world. My communication teacher from Oakwood, Dr. Elliott, love the
Oakwood
woman.
in the place. Man. Got it.
She said the quality of your communication is the quality of your communication is directly related to the quality of your life. Right?
Okay.
What communication is your ability to understand and then put into words and then transfer that meaning or that message. Right?
Okay.
Now, if I'm living in the inner place here and I'm able to communicate with myself and make sense of it, that means there's a quality of life here.
Okay.
If I'm able to do that with you across the table, there's a quality of life between us.
Right.
So words have literally taken me around the world. First serving as an English teacher,
Okay.
but then beyond serving as an English teacher, sitting with people to listen to them, to learn of their lived experience. Oftentimes these are people who speak English as an additional language, and that's why I had to fine-tune my emotional intelligence to understand, what is this person going across from the table?
Right.
What is this person going through across the table for me? And English is in what we call the humanities. I remember I was speaking with my my chair in the high school I was teaching at. And I said, you know what? A lot of these classes feel a lot like therapy. He said, well, Marcus, that's why it's called the humanities. We're teaching them how to be human.
Yes,
Wow.
that's good.
What kind of schools? I mean, you say schools now. I mean, no, seriously, for those who may not know,
Yes.
where were some of these schools? Like, where you say you were teaching places? Like,
Um,
not out east now. I mean,
No, Far East, yeah.
Far East. Like,
Far
where?
East.
About? Tell us a few.
Far East would be South Korea.
You were South Korea.
I was in 5.5 years. And then in Thailand.
Thailand.
And then Saudi Arabia. Worked with the petrol company out there. And in Spain. And then teaching online. For me, you know what I love about this? It wasn't so much teaching. I would share with them how to express themselves, but I would learn of cultural experiences and culture, and like I would learn of people. And I've
It was inspiring you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, even if you create for an audience of one, I look back at my life and I look back at it with gratitude, because I've collected stories from around the world, and I can't sit down and just be filled with it.
Yeah.
Mind you, I have a lot of life left to live. So now, I have to press those out of me to serve the world. But where has the word taken me? It's taking me to this table right now, talking with you. That's what matters, eh?
Hey, from out
Yes,
east
wow.
to the east, and now here with us today and with you. Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want us to run too close to time. Share with us one of those.
Tell me what you want to hear.
Uh,
I got poetry for
That's
this,
true.
man.
You've been talking a lot about identity, talking about, the importance of, being safe, being seen, being soothed, and being secure. I got it.
Hey,
Not that order, but they got it, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Share with us one of those poems, man. You say you do spoken. The first time, to be honest, the first time I ever got exposed to spoken word was through this guy, you know. And
For real.
the people were there, and I saw them snapping their fingers. I was like, oh, watch it, man. That's my kind of scene. And I literally fell in love with like spoken word. I couldn't do it, but I fell in love with observing how people were able to be so passionate but so eloquently paint pictures with their words and convey and command such emotion just by standing there and using the word. So I want the audience, you know, to get a little taste of this gift of words.
I'm gonna share this poem, Dear Child of Mine, You're Worthy of Being.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Right.
I love this poem.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
The visuals of this are nice.
They're insane,
Okay.
guys. I wish you guys could see them.
Oh, for those who don't know, this is a book, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later before we end.
Yeah.
You can, you know, find a little bit about it.
In this book, I actually wrote for parents to read with their children.
Okay.
I wrote this book. Actually, this is a beautiful thing, right? If you hear the voice from which this is spoken, it could be either divine speaking to you, God speaking to you. It could be you speaking to your child. It could be you speaking to your inner child. Those who need and want to reparent.
Layers, man.
Hey, watch it now.
Double entendre.
Use your words.
Use the word.
Use
Go
your
ahead,
words.
man.
But in the beginning of it says, remember your child within as you share these words with your child without. All right? Matt?
You go
Okay,
performance
no.
mode? Go ahead, man. Go for it. Be ready, man. Let's get
This
over.
first line means so much to me because I used to teach fifth grade.
Okay.
And whenever they used to push me to the edge, not push me to the edge, I would look at them and then I would call their name and I'd say, I'm so delighted you exist. And I would do that so much, right? That every time I would call their name, they would look at me. And right after that pause, they would look at me and say, I'm so delighted you exist. And they knew this first part of the poem. Anyways, the voice with which you speak to children is the voice with which they speak to themselves.
Yes.
All right, let's do this poem.
We ready. You gotta dim the lights a little bit. We good, man. Let's go. Ready.
It's called Dear Child of Mine, You're Worthy of Being. I'm so delighted you exist, and I simply ask this, that you experience all the marvelous wonders of your one precious life, and then express. Be bold as you live, and do you truly let nothing hold you back, always sure of the fact that you, dear child of mine, you are worthy of being. Express yourself through dance, through song, through play, through stillness, through tears, through silence with nothing to say. They're all okay, whatever your reason. Remember my words and continue believing. Dear child of mine, you're worthy of being.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't apologize. If it hits you, say To be who you are, to be called by your name, to be proud of your heritage, to be from where you came. To go out and to search, to find and to explore, to fill new spaces, to figure out so much more. Through this life, I promise it will get tough, yet through it all, know that you are always more than enough. And when doubt and uncertainty start to cloud your mind, come back to my voice, come back to these lines, always spoken for you, dear child of mine. You are worthy of being. Yes, challenges will press and test you on every side, yet when you fall, you will. Recall you are a dear child of mine. Rise, you will, you can, and remind yourself again, you are worthy of being. Eventually, the time will come. You will grow and will be leaving. Tears may flow, yet there's no need to stay in moments of grieving. Never forget my message to you and what I am now seeing. that you will always be a dear child of mine, and that you are worthy of being. And in the book, it's actually an activity book.
Hey.
Let me let it marinate.
Yes, man. Let it soak in, man. Let it soak in. Oh, man. Hey.
There are 3 pages that the child, it's a keepsake book, where the question is, it says, who are you? That's the greatest question you could ask and answer, because it says, I am. And the kid puts their picture there when they're in 5th grade. They come back when they're in 9th grade. The question is, who are you? And it says, I am. And then when they're in 12th grade, they're graduating. It says, who are you? And it says, I am. And they fill it in. And it says, and you are still and will always be worthy of being. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that is so...
What an impactful piece of work.
And, you know, it's just something about words, man. It's something, you know, even the Bible talks about, it refers to God, or Jesus, as the Word. And how you broke down words' ability to inspire you, we could see some type of connection with God wanting to inspire himself on us through the spoken word, which was Jesus made flesh, but then now also the power of words that he gives us to use to inspire others, to imprint. Oh man, this is some heavy stuff, man. I just be like, hey, I just love to see how things are connected and add so much flavor and variety to life that makes life so much more oomph. I love it, man. I wanna find out. You also said that you rapped. Maybe I'm gonna ask you to rap right now, right? But
Drop a freestyle right now.
Rhythmically accentuated poetry.
Yeah,
what you want to ask me,
Pastor
Pastor?
It was good. I mean, I almost want you to rap, right? I used to try rap, but it wasn't my thing. But yeah, I could.
A gift for you.
Yeah, my brain and my hands could keep the rhythm and the words going. And when they freestyling, I always was so captivated. And no, seriously, there was something.
Art.
There is something so powerful about words, because whenever someone has the ability to command language, people are just drawn and captivated, whether they're a speaker, whether they're a singer, whether they're a rapper, a poet, a teacher. When you have the ability to command language, you just have this gift to draw people, right?
Well, let me do you one better. Not even better. Let me give you another perspective. When you look at a word, first of all, I love how the Bible starts out. He's a spoken word artist. Just steps out on stage. There's nothing.
Hey, the stage of the universe, like boom.
So check it out. Words are just the arrangements of vibrations. So your name is Manasseh. That's 3 syllables with a, n, s. If I arrange those in any other way, sma, makes no sense to you. If I was out on the street and I said nsama, would mean nothing to you. It would mean nothing.
Take you somewhere.
But then if we were in a crowded room and everybody's talking and there's all this rasha, and you heard Manasseh, I'd get your attention.
Right.
Right? So that's one word. These are the arrangements of vibrations. And what it is when you arrange them in such a way, even with musical instruments, it's but the arrangements of vibrations. It then gets your attention. It can change your beliefs, change your understanding and your perception of the world. And from that new perception, then you can take new actions. And as you take those new actions, you are being not conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? That's what words do.
That was good.
You got to slip it
use
in.
The words, yeah.
Use the words.
Yeah.
And that's why you hide the word in your heart that you might not sin against you. I mean, there's stuff. It's just when it's ingrained in you from a young age, but not only ingrained in you, these patterns of vibrations. And that's why you can meet some people and be like, yo, that's a vibe. Like you vibe, you literally vibe with
them.
people.
Yep.
Look at that.
For real.
Hey, that's a vibe. No, man, that's so. And another thing I think about it, why it's so important for young people to, especially to devote themselves to considering the power and impact of words is because literally it gives you a sense of power, right, in life as you try to form your identity, find yourself. It is able to unlock certain things for you that you wouldn't ordinarily have access to through other means. Like it could take you places where you don't need money, where you don't need to have someone who know you first to get you in. It could begin to open up avenues that you didn't even believe existed.
Yes.
Through the power of words, man. And I'm just so amazed and captivated by it.
I was gonna say words are just. I'm a bibliophile, right? And I love to read. And from a very young age, I consumed an insane amount of books.
That's good,
insane
yeah.
amount of books. And I also think that it's so important, even in speaking and like you brought up earlier, exposing yourself to different perspectives and different cultures. It just makes for such a sometimes, majority of the time, a well-rounded person.
Yes,
It also makes you
does.
surer in what you stand in and believe in. 'Cause
Right.
if you only ever know about like what the people like you think, then you actually, how would you know?
It has to be tested.
How would you know that's actually what you believe? How would you know that's actually what makes sense?
It has to be tested.
And so I also would insert my little thing off of words. Read. Read, guys. Read. It's so
Definitely.
important.
You know,
So important.
I say like this, yes, and if you're a parent, surround your kids with words. Surround them, and they'll explore. And if they can't get into it from reading, like listen, like just
Listen.
pour
Yes.
in words, pour in language
Yeah.
into your child.
Inspire them with words. That reminds me of this Bible passage found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 4. No,
Talk
real
to us,
talk,
talk to us,
man.
talk to
Words
us.
of well-being. It says, "A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit." So the words have serious power. Remember they say sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's
They
a
lie.
lie.
They lie.
But words
Words
can
hurt.
build up. They can
Yes.
inspire.
Real.
And we praise God that He has given us this ability. So thank you so much, Marcus, for being with us here today.
Pleasure.
We appreciate you having us on. We appreciate you being with us on the
Say
show.
hi.
yeah.
Imagine you having us on the show.
Remember
We're the
performance?
guest.
Remember the performance?
Yes.
I was at the
This was
Marcus
a
show
show.
today. Yeah, this is
Yes.
the Marcus show today. But thank you so much, man.
No, man.
And to our listeners, thank you so much also for listening. If you want to hear more of us, you can hear us every week here on Word SBC 88.3 FM on Tuesday from 6 to 6:30 with reruns on Wednesday and Friday from 3:30 to 4. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram at SBC Media Network. And more recently, we're on YouTube at South Bahamas Conference where you could go and watch our episodes. You guys have no excuse. Go and watch the rest. Go
Oh, yeah.
listen. Go
Leave a
listen to the
comment.
rest. Yes. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Young and Trending, where we always aim to be bold, be true, and be heard. I'm Tyler,
And I'm Pastor Nassau.
and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Young and Trending was brought to you by the Bahamas Adventist Book and Nutrition Center, located on Tonic Williams Darling Highway.